everyone, this is Karen.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Shane.
Today we're looking at part 2 of Malta.
A tiny country with a lot of history.
And the vocabulary words are prime.
Prime.
Stacy's children say that she is a prime example of what a great mother should be.
Devoted.
Devoted.
Devoted fans of the singer lined up for hours in the cold for a chance to meet her.
Celebration.
Celebration.
The New Year's celebration will start at 8 p.m.
Parade.
Parade.
After the election results were announced, thousands of people paraded down the streets.
Feast.
Feast.
The king held a feast in honor of his army's victory. So we're still talking about this beautiful place, Malta. That's made of many, many beautiful islands, right?
Right. So this is like a Roman Catholic country.
Okay.
And we talked last time that there's like, some churches there.
That's right.
And in fact, there are so many churches that for each square mile, kilometer, sorry, I'm thinking in American distance, there is one church.
That is crazy. It's like hundreds and hundreds of churches, right?
Yeah, so it's really cool to go there, and they have some really old churches. And there's one, I forgot the name, but it's a really cool... St. John's Co-Cathedral.
That's right.
Is that right? And it's a real prime example of Baroque architecture. So it's really old and really beautiful.
And also, I think they're really big on festivals. So if you want to go there in the springtime, that would be wonderful because they have great Easter celebration.
Right, and the kids can have like chocolate, like eggs, or they're shaped like rabbits or something. I don't know. It just sounds delicious.
I know. And then their national dish was something that kind of made me go, wow. Their national dish is made up of rabbit and what else? Wine and vegetables. I never had rabbits.
Neither have I.
I don't know if I can try.
I'm a vegetarian, so
That's
I wouldn't eat it. I'll eat a chocolate-shaped rabbit, though.
Okay, definitely.
If it's made of chocolate, not chocolate-shaped. It's chocolate, and it's shaped like a rabbit. Okay. All right, we'll see you next time. See you in Malta.
All right.
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history.
An important part of Maltese culture and life is Roman Catholicism. Over 300 churches have been built in the small island nation. That's more than one per square kilometer. The most impressive is probably St. John's Co-Cathedral, located in the capital of Valletta. The cathedral dates back to the 16th century and is considered a prime example of Baroque architecture in Europe.
Today's lesson is called Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history. Part 2. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike. And yeah, we're learning about Malta, which is sometimes called the crossroads of the Mediterranean. It's a little island right there in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, which of course separates Africa from Europe, and many cultures have, been important in that area. We've had the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Moors, the Crusaders went through at some time. It's been run and ruled by many different cultures, 7,000 years of history. They have wrecks, they have ruins, they have churches, they have medieval towns. It's great.
Did you say churches?
Definitely churches.
Because they've got some churches there on Malta.
What, like 4 or 5?
Oh, Mike. The actual number is staggering, and we're going to get to that soon.
10.
An important part of Maltese culture and life is Roman Catholicism.
It's near Italy.
Over 300 churches have been built in the small island nation.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's not 30?
Over 300. That's more than one per square kilometer.
The most impressive is probably St. John's Co-Cathedral, located in the capital of Valletta. Well, if it's the capital, that's the main city, and yes, that is the capital of Malta. And there they have St. John's Co-Cathedral. This is a cathedral that shares a bishop with another cathedral. So it's a big church.
A cathedral is a big church. If you're talking about Catholicism, a cathedral is a church. It's where the bishop works. Anyways, this particular church, this cathedral, it's big, it's awesome, it's great, and it's old. The cathedral dates back to the 16th century and is considered a prime example of Baroque architecture in Europe, which means that it's going to be very pretty and very ornate.
Yeah, so when we talk about something being prime, especially a prime example, we mean it's kind of a perfect example. It's not maybe the only example. It might not even be sort of the number one, but if you're looking for an example, that's a really good one to choose. If you looked up Baroque architecture or Baroque cathedrals in a book or online, you might see a picture of this church. It fits the bill. It's a really good example. It's the kind of one you would think about. For example, Stacy's children say that she is a prime example of what a great mother should be. There are many great mothers, but if you're looking for a really good example, a really good one to say like that, yes, like that.
That's very nice of them to say so.
That is nice. She paid them.
Yeah, she upped their allowance that week.
Yeah.
Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。马耳他有7000年的历史，那么中间有经历过无数次的政权转换，留下了丰富的历史文化。那么麦克老师在开场的时候有提到说，这个地方呢可能有受到古罗马人、摩尔人、十字军等等的影响。这时候老师说的 Moor。Moor 就是指摩尔人，还有说到 Crusader 是指十字军战士，这个字拼作 Crusader。好，今天的课文一开始就写到说，罗马天主教是马耳他的文化和生活中很重要的一部分。在这个小小的岛国上，竟然有300多座教堂诶，其中的圣若望副主教座堂呢，是可以追溯到16世纪的，它被认为是欧洲巴洛克建筑最典型的例子。好，单字 prime 就是用来形容最具代表性的，或是形容最好的，或是主要的。麦克老师在解释单字时，他用到片语 fit the bill。fit the bill 它是表达符合要求、适合需要。那在口语中，这个片语就可以表达说是合适升任的意思。好，另外老师们在聊到主教座堂时，有提到 bishop 就是主教，它是拼作 B-I-S-H-O-P bishop， 还有用到 ornate 这个字来描述教堂 O-R-N-A-T-E ornate 是形容富丽的、华美的，这个字也可以用来形容像装饰啊、辞藻等等，它是华丽的。赵老师刚刚还用到 staggering 来描述马耳他教堂的数量很惊人。好，我们来拼一下 staggering 这个字 S-T-A-G-G-E-R-I-N-G staggering 是表达惊人的或是极大的。这边还有2个重点，第一个 date back to 表示追溯到什么，始于什么什么，后面是要接过去的某个年代啊、时期或是事件等等。例如The custom dates back to medieval times. 这个习俗可以追溯到中世纪时期。第2个重点 ，consider 在这边表示认为或者将什么什么视为。那么主动的句型是用 consider 某人或某事物 to be 加上名词或形容词。那么被动句型是某人或某事物 be considered to be 名词或形容词。那其中的 to be 都可以省略。我们来造2个例句。They consider him to be a liar， 或是 They consider him a liar， 他们认为他是个骗子。The criminal is considered to be dangerous， 或是 The criminal is considered dangerous， 那名罪犯被认为是危险的。好，接回到课文中。
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history.
Besides being devoted churchgoers, the Maltese also love a good festival. In the spring, the biggest event is Easter. Unlike most countries, Malta's Easter celebrations last for an entire week. The fun begins the week before Good Friday, with people dressing up as religious figures or Roman soldiers and parading around the streets. This leads up to the biggest celebration on Easter Sunday.
Okay, besides being devoted churchgoers, the Maltese also love a good festival. So they pray hard, but they also play hard. They like a good party. They party hard. But yes, they are devoted churchgoers. That means they are very loyal to their church. They might go to church every single day. It's a very important part of their lives. They have a very strong belief, and they show it by going to church. For example, devoted fans of the singer lined up for hours in the cold for a chance to meet her. So they're really big, supportive, loyal fans. But that's being devoted to a singer. I think being devoted to, your religion and your church, that's something of a different level, of a different order.
Okay, but it's a really important thing in their lives.
It's an important thing in their lives.
Absolutely. It's a big part of people's lives, of course, for religious reasons, but also just in the society.
Yeah, and then that's the praying part. They pray, they get down and pray, but then they also party hard.
Absolutely, and so they make their church festivals bigger than you might expect. It says in the spring, the biggest event is Easter. So Easter is a big event for Christians, but the Maltese, they take it to another level. It says, unlike most countries, Malta's Easter celebrations last for an entire week. Wow, that is a long time. Mostly they might last, even for the most devoted Christian in other countries, maybe 4 days, from Good Friday to Easter Monday. But there, they stretch it out by a few more days, make it into a week-long celebration. What is a celebration? Well, in this case, it could be a party, but it can also just be a time when people are really focused on something important that's happening in the calendar. The Chinese New Year celebrations go on for a week or more. Our Lunar New Year celebrations in Taiwan might go on for a long weekend, and you might have a barbecue and watch some fireworks and do stuff like that. So it could be a big party. It could be something to do with your religion, going to temple or church like the Matsu celebrations, or it could be a combination of both. But it's an important part of the calendar, an important time in your year because of your religion or your culture or something like that. For example, the New Year's celebration will start at 8 p.m. and go till about 12:01.
Sounds about right.
New Year's celebration.
Anyways, the fun begins the week before Good Friday.
Wow.
With people dressing up as religious figures or Roman soldiers and parading around the streets.
Wow.
So, sounds good to me. By the way, a parade. Let's talk about this word as a noun. When I think of a parade, I think of floats and marching bands heading down the street, marching, do-ku-do-ku-do, playing their music and performing and doing all that stuff, while people watch them standing on the sidewalks. Yeah, look at that, wow, that's so cool. Now, the act of doing this is called parading. So to parade is to go on parade. Okay, so here we've got religious figures, Roman soldiers, they're going around the streets, they're parading, having a heck of a time. For example, after the election results were announced, thousands of people paraded down the streets. Yay, our guy won, the other guy lost. Yay. Anyways, this is a big parade. They parade, they have a great time.
That's right. But
it gets bigger.
There you go. And all of this, a week or more, many days of these events and celebrations, they lead up, or it says this leads up to the biggest celebration on Easter Sunday. So that would be Sunday, of course, which for Christians is the day you go to church, but it's Easter weekend. It's this period, this celebration, this holiday. So that is when it all reaches a great climax. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more from Malta.
马耳他人除了是虔诚的信徒，他们也喜欢庆祝节日。像在春天的时候，他们最大的盛事就是复活节。大多数的国家，他们可能只会庆祝个几天，可是马耳他的庆祝活动会持续整整1个礼拜。那人们就会打扮成宗教人物啊，或是打扮成罗马士兵，在街上四处游行。好，这边有3个单字 ：devoted、 Devoted 是形容忠诚的、忠实的。老师在解释单字时用到 supportive， 就是在 support 支持后面加上 ive， 变成这个形容词，表示支持的。下一个单字 celebration， 它表示庆祝活动或是庆典。再看到 parade。Parade 当名词表示游行，这个字也可以当动词来表达游行或是列队行进。我们知道在有一些大游行里面是可以看到花车的。好，老师这时候有用到 float 这个字 ，float，float 当名词也可以用来指游行用的花车。这句话课文中。
Malta, a tiny country with a lot of history.
Children receive chocolate Easter eggs and figoli, almond-filled pastries in Easter shapes, such as rabbits. Families also gather for a feast, usually featuring traditional Maltese fare. The national dish of Malta is said to be fancata, a dish made with rabbit, wine, and vegetables. Another favorite is pastis, a pastry filled with cheese or peas. From fun festivals to amazing architecture and beautiful beaches, Malta has it all. This tiny island country is full of things to discover.
All right, so they've been partying hard, and then Easter comes around. What happens? What do the Maltese do?
Well, of course, with a celebration, you should have some special food. Right? We often think of food and parties, celebrations going hand in hand, and maybe even special food, like moon cakes that we have here at certain times of the year. It says children, in Malta, children receive chocolate Easter eggs and figoli, almond-filled pastries in Easter shapes, such as rabbits. Yes, rabbits are one of these sort of characters that we associate with Easter. Rabbits meaning new life, like the new life when Jesus rose from the dead. And chocolate eggs, these are traditional. We used to hunt for chocolate eggs even in Canada, but we didn't have almond-filled pastries called figoli that are shaped like rabbits. That's something they do in Malta. So that's a special food, especially for the kids, for the Easter celebration. But it also says families also gather for a feast, usually featuring traditional Maltese fare or Maltese food. Fare, food is what we mean here. And a feast is when you have a lot of food, because a feast is basically just a really big meal, probably as part of a celebration, a wedding, a birthday, something like that. Chinese New Year, you have all your relatives there. It goes on for hours. You're not just sitting there eating a sandwich really quickly because you have to go back to work. That's not a feast. A feast would be a big meal, a big celebration, lots of food, lots of people, lots of fun. For example, the king held a feast in honor of his army's victory. Huzzah.
Eat up, eat your fill. That's what you do.
So what's on the menu at the Easter feast?
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Okay.
It says here the national dish of Malta is said to be fancata, a dish made with rabbit, wine, and vegetables.
A rabbit stew. That sounds delicious. Another favorite is pastis, a pastry filled with cheese or peas.
Pasties made of cheese or peas.
That sounds good too. I love a pastry with some cheese or some peas inside. Sounds delicious. And of course, there would be a lot more food in the feast. So there you go. That's Easter. And it says from fun festivals to amazing architecture and beautiful beaches, Malta has it all. And lots of churches.
Oh,
a lot of churches.
A lot of churches. This tiny island country is full of things to discover, especially churches.
And churches, yeah.
All right, folks. Mike, we've got the what do you think question here. What appeals to you most about Malta?
What I like about Malta...
The churches.
Well, what I like about Malta is that there aren't many churches there. There's only 300. And I kind of like that. Well, actually, no, that's a lot. So what I like about Malta is all the churches. And the 7,000 years of history. Ooh, and that Royal Navy wreck, the HMS Maori. Ooh, and the pasties, I like that. Oh, and that Medina place, like the medieval town, you can walk around. Ooh, I like that too. Oh, and all the islands with only birds on them. I think. So, ooh, and the weather. The weather's probably
So what do
great.
you not like about Malta?
It's far away, and I'm not there. I'm here. Yeah.
We'll put a lid on it now. Good. That's the end of the lesson.
Oh, fankata. Ooh, I'd like some of that rabbit stew.
Folks, it's time for us to say goodbye.
Probably have pasta too. I mean, it's close to Italy.
If you want to see Mike, he'll be in Malta when travel is possible.
Maltese
wine. Bye, everyone.
Maybe a good museum.
节庆活动当中，当然少不了食物喽。我们来看看马耳他有哪一些复活节节庆食物。课文就提到说，孩子们会收到巧克力复活节彩蛋，还有复活节造型的糕点。那么家家户户也会聚在一起享用大餐，来吃传统美食。那么据说马耳他的国民美食是红酒炖兔肉，它是一道以兔子、葡萄酒还有蔬菜所做成的菜。那么另外一道受欢迎的餐点则是填满 cheese 啊，或是豌豆的馅饼。那我们这边来看单字 feast， 它表示盛宴、宴席的意思。那么文中用到 fair 在这边它是当名词来表达饮食或是菜肴。好，那我们刚刚说到红酒炖兔肉，这时候 Mike 老师他用到 stew 这个字 ，stew， stew 表示炖肉或是焖菜。好，那我们最后来看两个重点，第一个是句型。主词加上 be said to 加原形动词是表达说据说怎么样，这是用被动语态来表达公认或是普遍的说法。例如 The painting is said to be worth $10 million。据说啊，那一幅画价值1000万美元。好，第二个重点是句型 A be made with B 表示 A 由 B 制成，来说明某个东西它所含的原料成分。好，例如 The basic Greek salad is made with tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, olive oil, olives, and feta cheese。基本的那种希腊沙拉呢，它是由番茄啊、小黄瓜、洋葱、橄榄油、橄榄还有菲达起司所做成的。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The name of the Swan Bell Tower in Perth comes from its location, which is on the right side of the Swan River. This name can also be simplified as the Bell Tower. The whole thing was built using glass and copper. It cost 5.5 million Australian dollars to build. The 18 bells inside the tower make wonderful sounds when they ring. The special design makes the bells sound good. The doors and windows can be opened and closed to direct the sound towards the city or the river. The Swan Bell Tower was built to celebrate the new millennium in the year 2000. It's still a popular tourist attraction and a very special building. It has the second biggest collection of change-ringing bells in the world. These bells can play different notes that change the longer they ring. Fantastic, isn't it?
Here is more information.
Set. My uncle bought a set of tools at that store. Concrete. The sidewalk is made of concrete. Glass. This glass window is dirty. Celebrate. We held a party to celebrate Jane's birthday. Cast. This sword was cast 300 years ago. Discover. Columbus discovered America. Coronation. We watched the coronation of the new queen on TV. Chime. The clock chimes every hour. Combined. My friend and I have a combined age of 24. Certificate. The teacher gave his students certificates when they finished school. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and we will catch you later.
See you next time.